What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, and that is, of course, the one and only. He is Scott Savage. Scott, what's happening today, buddy?
Oh, I've had a stroke of good fortune today. I don't want to get into it too much, but I'm in a very good mood.
Well, that's good. It's always good. Good news, good things happening. We got lots on the go, Scott, where people can join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's 1 o'clock Eastern time zone, we'll be live streaming God of War Ragnarok for an hour, maybe two. We'll see where we go from there. But
we'll see if you can turn it off.
I don't know if that's possible, dude. There's it's always, I'm like, okay, I was talking to somebody today, like, hey, I think the trophy list popped. I'm like, oh no, I got it. Oh boy, let's go, because I want to see what I'm missing. There's a bunch of trophies that popped during my play session, but I know there's a ton I'm missing. But what we're not missing is today's episode.
It's an interesting development lately. The trophies have been kind of hidden, and achievements have been hidden as well.
Yeah.
Which, insider baseball here, there's normally you can still view the achievements, even if the game's not out, in our case. But lately, that's not true. It's just hidden for whatever reason. I'm an achievement hunter, so that stands out for me.
Well, there's certain games, like, so Sony is notorious for hiding all of our trophies. I was like, I just want to see the list. Send me the list. I want to see what I can get, what I can't get, and what I got to work towards, and all that kind of stuff. So as you're playing, but essentially is it an incredible game that you're thinking about going for that platinum, you're like, what am I missing? And the worst part about it is when you finish a game and you're like, you're 7% done. I was like, wow, I'm already 35 hours in. How many more hours do I need to spend to get that platinum?
But like, did this come from Ubisoft or what?
I will report back tomorrow with details on how my trophy list looks, but I don't think it's going to look very good. We'll see. But coming up on today's show, Scott, Netflix is getting another game adaptation for an animated series and film. Bioware is teasing the next Mass Effect, and Final Fantasy 16 will be a timed exclusive on PlayStation 5.
Time. That reminds me of another situation, but we'll get into that.
Ooh, a situation. Let's get into Netflix takes charge of Gears of War movie project. An animated series is also in the works. Scott, I'm going to stop right there. I'm not even going to get into the article yet. What are your overall thoughts hearing that Netflix is taking another series?
Well, another series is great with these subject matter, this kind of world. Gears of War is really exciting for me to watch. But
absolutely.
I'm worried that it's going to fall down the same Netflix trap as, unfortunately, so many other great shows do, where season 1 comes out, it's excellent. Maybe you get a season 2, but then it suddenly vanishes. And I'm thinking of Hemlock Grove right now. There's many others that spin around, but I fingers crossed, really.
Yeah, it's
the idea that there's an anime adaptation, though, an adult anime version of this, amazing. I think that's a great avenue to do it.
Let's get into it. It's Owen over at Polygon. 15 years into the effort to adapt Gears of War into a popcorn movie blockbuster, Netflix has now picked up the torch. Netflix will be developing both a feature-length film and an adult animated series, the streaming giant said on Monday. The adult streaming series has me thinking Cyberpunk that they just did, right? Cyberpunk Edge Runner. That's what it was.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
So I haven't seen it, but I heard it is not your lighthearted anime. So yeah, it's very gory from what I understand. But Netflix is now the rights holder after long months of negotiations with many competitors, The Hollywood Reporter reported. Netflix will partner with Gears developer The Coalition in getting the movie and cartoons onto the screen. THR said no filmmakers, directors, writers, or other stars are so far attached to any of the adaptations. This is just, dude, the ink just dried on the negotiations, and now they're looking at where do we go from here. I see a lot of people talking about David Bautista being Marcus.
Yeah, that's immediately where I go to. Can we get Christopher Judge in the role?
I don't know.
I have a feeling there'd be strange outcry about that, but I don't care about any of that. I want Christopher Judge because he's an amazing actor.
He's incredible. God of War Ragnarok, I'm telling you.
And that voice, man. You could think Marcus Phoenix.
He just yells, boy. I'd laugh.
And I clapped.
Yeah, it's dude, I love Gears 5. My wife and I have talked about this all the time, actually. My wife and I beat it from start to finish. Dude, it's fantastic. It is a great game. I love what the Coalition did there. Now they're working on what we essentially think is Gears 6. We did have Gears Tactics last year. If you haven't played that, I highly recommend it. Even if you're not a fan of tactic type games, dude, that one was really cool. Did you play that one?
I played it very shortly. I believe that was on your recommendation. Yeah, and Nate as well. He seconded that. He said, if you're going to play any tactics game, that's the one.
Yeah, like
it's either that or Fallout for me.
Ah, really, eh? Yeah. No, I like the Gears Tactics. I thought it was incredible because you know these characters already, right? You have an appreciation for the world that's already there, where if you're into XCOM, it's a unique story on its own, but it take the XCOM formula and they bring it over to Gears. I thought, man, it was incredible. But right now we know the Coalition is working with Unreal Engine 5 to develop Gears 6, essentially, is what they're up to, hopefully. So, man, oh man. But that'd be cool. I'm down for an animated series. I want to check that out. I'm down for the feature film as well. But you always... Dude, we've had so many missteps along the way that you do get nervous going, here comes another gaming adaptation for a movie, and you're like, why ruin a good thing?
The live action movie, I'm worried, is going to fall into kind of what happened with Resident Evil movies, which they're kind of good on their own if you're into that kind of thing. It's a little bit more of a niche, but I'm worried that they might just cheese it up a little too much. Whereas the anime gives you the opportunity to display all of the gore, chainsaw, bayonet. Okay, so the opportunity for that to come out in anime form, I'm thinking of Blood Sea. If anybody's seen that anime, could be disgusting.
No, dude, if they for the film, you have to feature all the gore. Like that's Gears. That's what Gears is known for. Like you can't just, PG that wouldn't work. Everybody would be
that would be so sad.
Did you imagine? Here's Gears of War PG. It just no. There's some green goo that comes out, and that's like no. You can't.
I wonder if this will explore the fabled origins of the cyborg ninja squad that Delta Squad was. I've heard some crazy stories about what they were in concept.
So okay, this is where I want to head next. Is where do you think they pick up this story from? Do they go and make like an origin story, or do they go after Gears 5? Like there's a lot that happened in Gears 5, man. Yeah. So there's a lot to go
really,
on, right?
Any of the Gears really could, a whole movie could occupy that space easily. You could make a whole series on the first game even, but you gave me an idea. The Emergence Day, E-Day, the day where the grubs and the locust come to the surface and basically is the cataclysm trigger. That would be an amazing thing to show off in live action or anime, really.
Killer Fro says, "Show me hammer destruction and krill deaths." Like there's
krill deaths. Yeah, people getting picked to the bone.
So they have a lot to pull from. We will see if they can pull it off, though. Sky is the biggest thing. Dude, let's get into Bioware teases next Mass Effect with a clue-filled video clip for N7 Day. That was just yesterday. N7 Day back once again. This is Marcus Stewart over at Game Informer. November 7th is N7 Day for Mass Effect fans, meaning all eyeballs are on Bioware in hopes it'll release any info on its upcoming Mass Effect sequel. So far, the developer has satisfied that demand by releasing a brief video teaser containing hints of what's to come. According to Bioware, fans should examine the 25-second clip a bit more closely, as it's apparently chock full of clues. A tweet provided a link to download the video. So it's over on their Twitter feed. We actually have it playing right now. You can't obviously hear anything, but there is that. Scott, you'll notice that the numbers at the bottom change as the camera zooms, similar to the video recording timer. You can spot a number of large ships floating nearby, but the one that stands out is the smallest vessel, with blue tinted engines cursing around cruising around the bottom right near the MR7 decal.
Yeah. No, I was trying to look at that. The shape of the engines. Does it look like the ship? I'm struggling to remember the ship name. I can't believe I've forgotten it because it's such a big thing. The Normandy. That's it.
Yeah.
Forgive me for my memory. I clearly missed N7 Day playing Mass Effect Legendary.
I gotta go. Man, Scott, this is I gotta start at 2, dude. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna start at 2 and then play. I started 2 years ago and I put it down.
2 is considered one of the best anime of all time, or RPGs of all time.
I can't.
I'm still hung up on Gears,
dude. We have just so much in the works. This is hard. I'm thinking Christmas holidays. This is what I'm gonna play. I'm playing Mass Effect 2 and 3, trying to get them done so I can get ready for 4. We can skip Andromeda, I would say, right? So
yeah, I think that's pretty safe. Now I'm wondering, is this going to be a sequel based on Andromeda, or are they going to do a Mass Effect 4?
Right.
Or will it be an entirely different scenario, divorced of Shepard entirely? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
There has been a little bit of audio. I'm not certain if it's included in this particular. No, I don't believe it is. This particular writing. There was some audio that was stripped away from this 25-second video. Somebody was able to analyze it and separate it from the background noise. And it was a scratchy voice that said something, but it wasn't indicative of what the scenario could be. But what is interesting about it is they figured out it was a certain character, Liara Tassoni, from the original trilogy. And
gotcha.
She is kind of perhaps giving off hints as to what the game could involve. And if it involves Liara Tassoni, that puts it in the timeline of the original trilogy. So it's really exciting. I haven't played Mass Effect in so long now, but it still lives on in my memory.
Do you think it's going to be a spin-off then of the original trilogy?
I think that's very, very plausible because there's so much happening across the galaxy, the different planets involved. And you really, just like Gears of War, you could fill an entire TV series with any one of the games.
It's one of those, we'll see what happens, because we've had some missteps with Mass Effect. Then they came up with a trilogy to bring everybody back around, which I thought was great. I just can't get through the first game. No matter how many times I try, I cannot get through that first game of Mass Effect, which is so sad because it sets up everything moving forward. It's just like, all right, recap video, and I'll continue on from there. Speaking of continuing though, Scott, Final Fantasy 16 will continue on as a PS5 exclusive for 6 months. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. Okay. Time exclusives happen all the time, so this isn't too shocking, really, especially with Final Fantasy being so ingrained in the PlayStation realm. I think that's the other side of it, right? But this comes from Michael.
Has this sparked any calls of monopolization? I have not seen it yet, but I'm expecting that.
Not yet, but we'll see. We will definitely see, Scott. You never quite know. The next mainline Final Fantasy game will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive for 6 months, according to a new ad for Sony's current gen console. I guess it's 2 years. I guess that is current gen now, isn't it, Scott?
Yeah, we keep saying next gen, but that's really just giving a pass on the software side.
Yeah, absolutely. Final Fantasy 16 has always been pitched as being tied to some sort of PlayStation exclusivity, despite being initially confirmed for PC as well. But Sony's new promo for the PS5 makes it explicit, letting players on other platforms know how long they'll have to dodge spoilers for the game.
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
Yeah. What's unclear about Final Fantasy 16 exclusivity is which platforms the designation applies to. Elsewhere in the same ad, another Square Enix published game, Forspoken, is described as PS5 exclusive until January 23rd, 2025. Scott. Holy.
That's a much longer window.
Wow. Dude, that's a huge window.
How long was Deathloop? PlayStation exclusive now.
Good question. I want to say it's about 6 months. Maybe was it a year? I don't think it was a year.
That's what I'm struggling to remember. I don't think it was a year. 6
No.
months may work.
I
Could've
think it
been
was
8
6
now.
months. It's pretty common, right? Honestly, that is pretty common between developers and platform holders like PlayStation or Xbox that have a timed exclusive. Go there. You'll see, we'll get like the E3 press conference, right? And then on the Xbox side, it says timed exclusive. And then you'll get a Sony State of Play. And then from there, you'll get timed exclusive. And you'll get, actually, it's a female's voice.
World premiere. Yeah, you're thinking of the world premiere voice.
I am. Dude, it's so ingrained. I love that voice. If there's one voice I could pull off, that'd be one to do. Yeah. So
I put it next to my EA Sports.
It's in the game.
It's in the game.
So it is not uncommon to see this happen. What is uncommon, though, is Forspoken to be exclusive for another 3 years, essentially 2 years by the time it releases on January. Dude, I can't wait for Forspoken. I think that game looks incredible.
Well, it came out. It was kind of an answer to Avowed, I think. The way it was kind of marketed and announced.
Which is where, Scott? Where?
Yeah.
Where's Avowed?
That one hurts. I'm not certain myself. I haven't seen any mention of Avowed.
Maybe
6 months.
What was that one game? Oh, dude, it's escaping. I can see it. It's you're the dragon. You're the dude. You're the guy with the dragon, and they canceled it.
You're making me think of Shadow Warrior, but
no,
that's not quite a dragon.
It was a platinum game. It's a platinum game. I think about it all the time. It's one of the things I wish we saw that game. Now it's gonna drive me.
Are you talking about Scalebound?
That's the one I was talking about. Thank you. It was on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, I know it's there. I know. Yeah, maybe that's where Avowed is now, with hanging out with Scalebound.
Oh.
Yeah, hopefully not, because I wanted to see that one too. Man, so many good games.
Yeah,
just kind of like,
place.
Where is this? Oh man, I tell you.
13.
But yeah, exclusive for 6 months. So Xbox fans probably gonna have to hold tight and close your eyes for a while if you're waiting on Final Fantasy 16 to hit that platform.
I'm not going to be able to avoid spoilers. Not in this position.
Probably not. And I'm hoping we'll get it. We'll just play it, Scott. Yeah, by that time.
I'll see. In that case, I really want to hear about it then.
Yeah, it's cool. The publisher's Final Fantasy VII Remake was initially exclusive for PlayStation 4 when it released in 2020. A year later, the remake came to PC, initially only for the Epic Game Store, though. So Final Fantasy, dude, it's just tied to that PlayStation brand, and they've had such a long-lasting partnership for Final Fantasy with Square Enix and PlayStation that it's not really that surprising.
Well, there's a memory in my head floating around, and I'm not certain if it's a false memory at this point, but I remember the Final Fantasy VII Remake having an Xbox logo tied to it at one point. I believe it was a poster, like an 8-foot big poster that I saw a photo of.
Wow.
And it had the Xbox One symbol next to it. And because that hasn't come to fruition, I question now if it's a real memory.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah. I don't know, but at least you'll get to play it hopefully 6 months later.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I can accept that.
Scott, you know what everybody's playing right now? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 passes $1 billion in sales in less than 2 weeks. Dude, it was 10 days they made $1 billion for Call of Duty.
Don't let anybody tell you that Call of Duty's dead.
Ooh, not even remotely close at this point, right? Call of Duty is just on a whole other level this year. We played it. We're still playing it. We're having a good time. We're doing co-op right now. You yourself, as well as Corey, will be covering the multiplayer. You and I just covered the campaign, reviewed that on this week's episode. Dude, we got a hot episode this week. It was
I'm getting right into the final levels and getting goosebumps about it. I won't go further on information, but it's good. It's exciting.
Yeah, so that's just the biggest thing I wanted to let's see. This is an extraordinary number and represents a real return to form for Call of Duty, especially after the lackluster performance of Vanguard in 2021. By the way, this is from Eric over at Forbes. Okay. It's not quite as big as the launch of GTA 5, however. The game crossed $800 million in 24 hours and $1 billion 3 days later. In 3 days, and continues to top sales charts nearly a decade later. GTA 5 is huge. Wait till GTA 6 comes out.
I can only hope. I'm worried that there's going to be some stumble along the way, but
I would almost guarantee GTA 6 comes out and everything the world crashes. Like, yeah, GTA 5, everybody's played it, everybody's still like, it boggles my mind that's still on the charts selling as,
Yeah.
like, who hasn't played this game yet? Well, I think I've owned it now 3 or 4 times. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we've bought it 3 or 4 times. Yeah, we're part of that stat right
yeah,
there,
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm hoping 6, when it comes out, though, has the multiplayer, the online, flushed out and working, because that was such a pain.
It will not work. I'd almost guarantee it comes out and completely crashes, because there's going to be so many people. They can anticipate a high install rate, but I don't think they'll be able to anticipate the amount of people who want to play online that day. And the servers will just be locked up because there'll be so many people in queue.
How long do you think they're going to support GTA 5 online as well? Or does GTA Online just update altogether? It's unclear to me.
Yeah, no, that's a good question, honestly, because there is an opportunity here. I don't think they're just going to go, okay, GTA 6 is out right now. Goodbye, GTA Online fans from yesteryear. That's not going to happen, right? That's such an install base on a daily basis. But
thanks for buying it 3 times offline.
Yeah, exactly. But we're starving, I think, at this point for GTA 6 online, right? Like, yeah, that's the biggest thing. So I don't think they'll have to wait too long just to say, yeah, we'll keep the lights on over here, but we're going to turn down the servers because most of you have jumped over. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Scott, it's not at all clear what Call of Duty 2023 will be. It's from Morgan Park over at PC Gamer. Call of Duty fans of the world got a small shock to the system earlier this year when Bloomberg reported that despite a 17-year streak of releasing Call of Duty games, Activision would be skipping 2023. That is remarkable. 17-year streak. Holy.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody other than the Mega Man development team has had that many consecutive yearly releases.
Wow, that is nuts. Like, I'm thinking maybe a sports title, like baseball or Madden. Or
actually, yeah,
NHL,
that's a good point. There you go.
That's the only other one I think it could be on that level to go do year after year after year like this. But 17 years is incredible. In place of a traditional release, the report claimed at the time efforts would be solely focused on continued updates for this year's game, Modern Warfare 2, and the upcoming free-to-play Warzone 2.0. Activision didn't outright deny the report earlier this year, but said today in its Q3 financial report that there will be, in fact, a new premium Call of Duty next year. So we're not taking a year off, Scott? What that exactly means, however, remains less than clear. The announcement came from a section celebrating Modern Warfare 2's big launch and looking forward to 2023. Activision is looking forward to building on the current momentum of 2023 with plans for next year, including the most robust Call of Duty live operations to date, the next full premium release in the blockbuster annual series, and even more engaging free-to-play experiences across platforms, the report reads. So we're not taking a year off?
Yeah, that's a little strange. Did they gauge the response and realize, well, maybe it is better off to put another one out there? And with Modern Warfare 2 is going to sell massively, I can see why they would be motivated to do that.
Absolutely. Scott, what we're motivated to do is tell everybody about the game releases today. What do we have?
We have A Little to the Left on PC and back.
What a title.
I'm curious. We have Football Manager 2023 on Xbox One, XS, Switch, and PC. Oddworld Soulstorm is on Switch now. Return to Monkey Island is on Xbox Series XS and PlayStation 5. Sifu has released on Switch. And Sonic Frontiers is on the PlayStation 4 or 5, Xbox One, XS, Switch, and PC.
So I've seen Sonic Frontiers getting rated across the board a 7, kind of give or take. People are saying it's a solid game, but not a fantastic game, but not an awful game either. So see what the future of Sonic holds, really, at this point.
You know, it sounds almost like every Sonic release.
Well, that's just they have a hard time trying to nail that down, don't they? Yeah, I don't know. Are you gonna check it out?
I am. I have to. I've been a Sonic fan forever.
All right, well then I'll let you report back and let us know, Scott. But just like that, my friend, today, that's going to wrap up today's show, ITG Daily, where we bring you the hottest in gaming news. You can join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG. But if you can't join us live, make sure to hit us up later inside the game.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see you inside the game.